Good evening and welcome back to all of you watching us. Tonight is the last quarterfinals in the 2024 eSailing Nations Cup. Germany versus Italy. It's going to happen tonight, right now. This is Oscar, your host, and with me is Alberto. Again, Alberto, how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. I'm excited for this. Um,
Yeah.
what could be the predictions for this game? Hey, Avel in the chat, nice to see you.
Okay, I will go for a 7-2. What
A
do you think?
7-2 in favor of who?
Of Italy. Of
Of
Italy.
Italy. Nice. So Alberto predicting a 7-2 for Italy. Well, I got my sheet stats. And you might be interested in this one. So Italy and Germany have gone against each other only twice since the beginning of the Nations Cup. One in 2024 during the round robin stage, and then one in the 2022 group stages. And every time, Germany has never been able to win more than one round.
Okay,
So a
so let me
7-2 is quite
reconsider.
optimistic.
Let me reconsider for an 8-1.
But who knows? They could be making history tonight. So
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
2024, during the round robin, they lost 6-1 against Italy, and in 2022, they lost 4-1 against Italy.
Mhm.
So who knows? We'll see what happens.
10 seconds to the start.
Yep. Well, to everyone in the chat, say Parejo, nice to see you there. Federex, nice to see you here. Avel, I gotta go, so have a great stream. You too. Go Germany. Thank you for the support. And a good start by the Italians, a bit of a late start by Paradicus from Germany. For the 2v2 mixed star race, Germany has yet to win this round. They have never been able to win this round in the entirety of the Nations Cup so far, in the 2024 edition, I mean. Italy, on the
Uh,
other side, have lost only twice.
I believe they are still need to recover from the loss of Christina. I mean, not the actual loss, but she's not playing too much anymore, and she was one of the best player in the world. So definitely this one is a hole that is difficult to fill again.
Yep. And Daniel Boy 123 Captain said TV, thank you for the follows. Nice to see you here. Hope you're doing good. Well, they have been training with Paradicus, which is a new recruit to their team. So, with time and with enough practice, she could definitely turn into one of the stars on the German squad.
Yeah, yeah,
But so
absolutely.
far, Sozi and 42 are the ones leading, um, which means they're going to have to defend against the Germans on the downwind approaching.
Just to remember, Sozi was always something like a runner-up for the steering the course. So
Yeah,
definitely
definitely.
someone that is not at
And she was also
a rookie.
she was also the only female to qualify in the OES last year
Ah, yes, true.
in Singapore.
She went to Singapore with you, right?
Yep. But as we said,
Eh,
Sozi and 42 are in the lead before the downwind. So in a 2v2 team race, the losing combination is having the fourth place. Whatever happens with your second players, if you have number 4, you're going to lose that round. So for the Germans, the strategy might be to focus on one of the two Italians and make sure that they stay into fourth place. And if they can concentrate their tactics on one player, it's probably going to be easier than to try to split and focus on two players at the same time. Roxy Joni, hey, wish you a nice stream. Nice to see you here. Thank you very much. And Super Joe, I think
thank
today
you,
is
Roxy.
the birthday of Lorenzo. Is today the birthday of Lorenzo? I'm asking for a fact check.
No. It's not the birthday of Lorenzo. It's a recurring joke during
Oh
the
yeah,
World
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Championship.
remember. I remember. Sorry, I ruined the joke. I ruined the joke. Roxy Joni, thank you for the prime.
Sorry, I ruined the joke because it was like 15 times that we celebrated Lorenzo's birthday during the World Championship final.
Those who know will know. Well, we see Paradicus sneaking into second place. They need to push one of the two Germans into fourth. As I said, the 1 and 4 is a losing combo, even if it's the same amount of points with the 5. The fact that you have the first place is going to hinder your team and give the point to the opponents. And that's how the team race scoring works. It's like a low point scoring system. You just add the points of everyone in the team. But if there's a tie, first place loses. And
Amazing
Suzy
move here
taking the
from selling
penalty
me. Yeah.
by selling me exactly as you were saying, putting two Germans in front of the Italians.
Right now is not that bad for the German, because
Nope.
when you have the first, is easier to give penalty on the downwind leg, making mark traps and stuff. So I will
Yep.
definitely recommend to get the first position and try to on the easiest part, so you can go 2 versus 1 on the last part of the race, not in the first part,
Exactly. And
like
we see
they're doing now.
42 pushing Sailing Me away. He's going to allow Suzy to get away from the wind shadow of Sailing Me, and Suzy can now concentrate on Paradicus. Paradicus also easing her sail, slowing down a bit, judging a bit by the situation. I don't think she has a clear. Now Suzy took the lead. Now she's going to be entering the mark zone
No,
first, but with the overlap.
yeah, so she will get a penalty if she should be touched, but no penalty here.
But no penalty here. She manages to escape. Paradicus is still very close though. Behind 42 and Sailing Me are still battling out. 42 is still pushing Sailing Me away. Sailing Me taking the penalty by 42. And we now still have well, currently it's going to be a Italian win, but the Germans are still in a position to bring it back. Definitely not over. We still have this last upwind. Um, and
The
as long
Americans say
as,
too early to call.
yeah, too early to call whatsoever. Paradicus waiting for Lorenzo or hesitating to go up against Suzy. She's probably going to try to do a mark trap or slow Lorenzo down, but she's going to be exactly. She is going to be blocked by Suzy, who puts the penalty on her. So she is going to be slowed down by another 10 seconds, and the two Italians are now in the lead in the upwind. So
Yep.
in a strong position for the Italians, they can control the Germans by sailing above them and just controlling the fleet.
Yeah, that one is a tough one to come back, but I think the Germans still have some chance to sort it out.
Yeah, it's going to be very close, and you just need to stay away from that fourth place. So one penalty somewhere could maybe make the difference, or one bad move. Though you shouldn't be hoping for
If,
bad moves from your opponents,
if,
but
even a small wind shift will change everything, to be honest.
yep.
They are really, really close.
Less than 200 meters away from the finish line. Looks like the Italians are still strong in their 1-2 position. They have a straight line towards the finish line. Now it's going to be a little too late for magic to happen. It's going to be a 1-2 for the Italians, giving this first round to the Italians.
Yeah, so 1 to Italy.
And confirmation of the ranking on your screen. Race number 2, 3v3 Ilka. Currently 1-0 for Italy.
Yep.
And let's have a look at what happened previously in a 3v3 Ilka. So in the round robin, Italy won that round 6-15. So it was a 1-2-3 for Italy. And they have only lost their 3v3 Ilka once in the whole competition. On the German side, they have won it twice only so far in the round robin stage. But it is one of their stronger rounds, where it's one of the rounds that they win the most often. Italy
Okay.
averaging at 8.33 points and Germany averaging at 12.5 points. The half is
12.5
10.5.
is definitely not a good one.
Yep. So 10 points is what you need to win.
So a 12.5 average is not a good one.
Yeah, and it's going to be a tough one against this Italian squad.
Yeah,
But we know the
Luka
Germans
Kosovic,
are capable. Luka Kosovic is doing the pin start over here.
the port start, not the pen start.
The pin, sorry, pin end start. Just missing the
Pin
end.
start, okay.
But he is doing a friendly fire on FIV Rock.
Mhm.
Germans deciding to sail mostly on starboard. We have one of them behind Luka Kozovic and FIV Rock sailing me over here, deciding to tack. Luka Kozovic is going to tack slowly after. Watch out for the crossing over here between the two Germans.
I believe they're
And
both playing really, really careful. Italy playing more with the wind rather than Germany is playing more with the tactic.
we've seen Italy here spreading out maybe a bit more on the course. So they have one on the right, one on the left, and one in center. Germany have one far on the left over there. That's Ahab 007. Kovadis in the center, and Sailing also kind of in the center. So far, looks like Italy has better control over the fleet. But again, that means that they're going to have to defend in the downwind. And the Ilka can have a very effective wind shadow. So it can be kind of nerve-wracking when you defend against good players in a downwind with the Ilka.
But giving this kind of player this kind of advantage is definitely a major risk. I hope German can come back, but considering the level of the opponents for Italy, I would say one will stay in the back and create a lot of havoc between all the German, and the other two will try to run away as fast as they can, hoping that they will not find themselves covered by the German.
Yep. Well, it's going to be the three Italians reaching the top mark first. And in
So
a
look,
3v3, the tactic is basically to have either 1 and 2 or 1 and 3.
yeah,
And this is a winning combo. So they're likely going to let the two of their teammates go fast in front, and then Amos Di Benedetto here is going to try to mark trap, slow down the Germans behind, give as much space as well to his teammates as he can. No penalties given, but he did slow them down enough. He is now above them, so he's going to be able to slow them down even more with the wind shadow.
there is an amazing move you can do in this kind of race is jibing and give a penalty. But he is going on a really, really safe side. He's not trying anything strange. He just wants to stay closer to let his teammates run away enough that when his time, he can play with them and play with the German now.
Well, he did manage here to put a penalty on Ahab 007, now going against Sailing Me, who defends very well and puts the penalty back onto Amos Di Benedetto.
But for
But the
example,
Germans
Sailing
are
Me
still
doesn't
far.
do not have a place where he can go. And the only one who can go is Quovadis.
Yep, Kovadis, but still a bit far from the two Italians in front. So the two Italians in front don't need to worry too much about what's happening behind, as long as they keep this 1-2. Even if they lose one of the spots to a 1-3, it's still a win for them. The Germans on the other side are going to have to do everything they can to try to catch up and get one of these two players, FIV Rock or Luka Kosovic, out of the podium place to have a chance to win this round.
Yeah. I hear a little bit in a bit robotic. I'm not sure if it's you can hear something in live.
So you sounded a bit robotic, Alberto. I'm assuming you said more or less the same thing, so I'm going to... Hopefully it's not
Just
me.
if you want, I can continue here. FIV Rock and Luka Kosovic in the getting 7 point for the Italian.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Great. So back to the upwind over here. Still 1 and 2 for FIV Rock and Luka Kozlovic. Kovadis more or less in a distance where, well, he could potentially maybe do something, though it's going to be very hard because, well, in the upwind, the advantage goes to the ones in front because they can have control over the fleet.
Yeah. I believe this race was almost lost at the start with not an ideal start from the German, but an amazing start from the Italian that took them straight from the beginning to a really, really tough position.
Yeah, it is 9 races in total tonight, so it's the first team to reach 5 points wins. We're going to continue racing, though, even after. We're going to continue racing all 9 races. Hopefully, we're going to have the 5th victory decided on the last race because these are the most interesting matches. But if there is a 5-0, which we hope does not happen, we will still continue to still all 9 races.
Yeah.
As we've seen
As
historically,
requested by the
Germany
team.
has always been able to score at least 1 round. Well, score 1 round against the Italians. They just need to better this. But it is going to be a 1-2 for the Italians. Kovadis deciding to get closer to Amos Di Benedetto. And well, he's going to try to make his to put his teammates in front of him.
And he's a 1-2 already.
Yep. 1-2 for the Italians. And then it's just a matter of where does Amos finish.
Yeah.
And Kovadis actually slowing down, maybe being a bit too much head to win, which will allow Amos to have 3rd place. And confirmation of the ranking for this race on your screen. It is a 1-2-3 for the Italians, 4-5-6 for the Germans, making it 2-0 for Italy. We can start.
Let's go! I was waiting for this second that was coming.
4v4 J70. What happened in the past? It was an Italian win in the round robin, 15-21. You need 18 points to win a 4v4. In case of a tie, do not have the first place. So 1-2-7-8 puts 18 points. Sorry, but since you have the 1, this is a loss for you. So stay away from that 7-8. That's usually a loss. Well, that's always a loss if you have 7-8.
It's always a loss, yeah.
The Germans have won twice. Their 4v4 J70. The Italians have lost only once. The 4v4 J70. Germans averaging at 18.67 points, and the Italians averaging at 16.33, so fairly close.
Definitely a good statistic for the Italian, but do not let the statistics condition us, because I believe this one is a team that we never saw before.
Yeah.
For the German.
Yeah, and
One
it is
and go.
Definitely going to be harder for the Italians to defend against this. We have a false start by Luka Kozlovic. Knud Roxigioni have had a pretty good start. See you later, and 42 as well. We see a split in the fleet, 2 of them going more towards the left. Well, the fleet basically spreading out onto the race course. Germans in a pretty good position, I'm going to say.
Yeah, I totally agree. 3 penalties for the Italian at the start. 1 penalty only for Germany. So definitely a great start from the German. And let's see how it does evolve, because Knud and Roxy are definitely in the lead. They need to make sure that they do not get last position. But here, penalty for Johannes Bansen.
As he was crossing paths with FIV Rock and 42. Maradani sailing evening. Strong German lineup in this race. Absolutely. Probably one of the strongest they can come up with.
I believe one of the strongest period.
Yeah. And well, for the Germans, as we said before, a 7-8 is always a loss, so stay away from this. So far, they're doing that. They hopefully can still cling on this 1-2 position. Is so the end shapes. You're going to have this reaching leg between the first and the second mark. There's going to be decision to make with the SPI. Usually, the SPI has an advantage for this reaching leg, where you're going to go slightly faster.
Yeah,
But going fast isn't necessarily the best strategy always in team race.
yeah,
They're going to have to defend against a pretty good Italian squad in the downwind.
yeah. We need to understand what is the tactic of the Germany. Like, try to keep the 1-2 and let Johannes Bansen and Wall TK to fight to not do 7 and 8. That is a pretty common tactic, but doesn't work really well in the new N-shaped course.
Yeah, well, we see Roxy Joni here taking the mark a bit wide, allowing See You Later to sneak inside. Knut is going to continue on into the downwind. See You Later is going to continue on upwind like this to try to push Roxy Joni as far as he can, allowing Lorenzo 42 to maybe sneak into third. I think the tactic for the Germans is to be able to get back to this 1 and 2 position, which is a very strong, and then kind of see what's happening in the back between Johannes Bansen and CK. If they can stay away from the 7-8, they don't need to worry too much about what's happening behind and just focus on their race finishing quickly. But if they see that their teammates are struggling behind, they might need to slow
Yeah,
down and try to go help them out. But
and
having
it's
this
not
1-2,
necessarily a bad thing.
yeah, having this 1-2 in the upwind is going to be very helpful because you're going to be able to control those who are beneath you, as Roxy Joni here takes the penalty from See You Later.
At the moment, it's not so easy for the German. Amazing recover from the Italian, but I don't think they're still winning. 19 points for Italian and 17
I mean,
for German.
17s for the German, yeah. What we saw with the average score that they scored, the Germans are just above 18. Italians a bit under 18 as well. So the statistically it does go in favor of the Italians, but the Germans are still very well capable of winning this round. Because when they won it, it was with 13 points, 15 points, so very low scores.
Yeah. There is one position that is running around, so as you can see, it's not a lot.
Yeah, and
Everything can
it's
change.
the fleet is still very close to each other, so there's no like clear player um ahead of everyone who doesn't need to worry about what's happening behind. The positions are going to keep swapping throughout the rest of the downwind and in the upwind. This first mark and second mark before the upwind is going to be important because this is where you can put the penalties. We're going to have two Italians here in the top three, chasing Knut 34. Roxy Joni not far behind in fourth, chased by Luka Kozovic. So Knut 34 is going to have some work to do to try to defend against 42 and See You Later. What do you think his strategy is?
The problem, the penalty from of Johannes Bansen is the one that can kill you, my friend, because 12, 16, and 19 points for Germany now. Only Roxy can do a lot. Roxy is covered a lot, so not an easy situation here for Germany. That having 1 point behind, but having only the first one, it's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah, and we see Roxy Joni here tacking onto port. Knut 34 following soon after, but then tacks over. So I think the strategy here that Lorenzo is trying to do is maybe slow down Knut 34 by tacking and trying to bait him into following him. Puts the penalty on Knut 34. That allows See You Later and 42 to take 1 and 2. And 1 and 2, the only way to lose a 1 and 2 is if you have 7 and 8.
I believe right now the situation is pretty critical for the German. What do you think?
I think it can still change. You see Roxy Joni and Luka Kozlovic close to each other over here.
Mm-hmm.
And Canoe 34, even though he's currently in 5th, has a straight line to the finish. So I think it's going to be a very tight finish. If Roxy Joni can hold on to Luka Kozlovic and allow more of his teammates to pass in front. And then
Amazingly
it's
done by
amazingly done.
Roxy.
And then it's just a question of putting Johannes Bansen in front of both Luka and FIV Rock.
That would be really, really tough.
And that is going to be very tough. And Roxy Joni doubling down, but misses the 2 Italians, and that's going to allow them to cross the finish line before him. And it's going to be 1-2-4-7 for the Italians and 3-5-6-8 for the Germans, making it a close but an Italian win nonetheless.
Yeah.
Confirmation of the ranking on your screen. Race is a go. We're gonna switch straight to watching the start procedure. And we're starting to see some new names in the roster so far. First race for Volvo, first race for GER7, first race for Velista 71, Movimento 5 Nodi, Charizard, and Moro di Napoli.
Yeah, except like Amos Di Benedetto.
Yeah.
We have a new.
Let's look at previous encounters for the 5v5 offshore racer. It was an Italian win again, 22-33. You need 27 points or less to win the 5v5 offshore racer. Germany has only won once their 5v5 offshore racer. The Italians have won it 4 times out of 6. Germany averaging
I think the Italian now have a better start, but I believe I'm not sure how he can handle the start on the right, because at the moment Movimento 5 Nodi is Moro di Napoli is in control of the right part of the fleet, but they're like kind of stuck all together here.
Yeah,
the Italians.
and that's usually the case with the offshore racer. You're rarely going to see some boats flying alone in front. Usually the fleet stays close and bunched up together, but if we look at the ranking on the left over here, it is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the Italians. So a perfect run so far.
Start of the race.
And so you do need 27 points to win. The Italians average at 26 points exactly in the 5v5 offshore racer. So very close to 27, but still under, so still more wins than losses. The Germans, however, average at 31.5. Not their strongest race.
No.
But who knows?
But
we see
3 penalties for the Italians.
3 penalties on the Italians. That is great for the Germans if they can capitalize on that. Extending the penalty slightly on Velista 71. Canoe 34 taking a penalty afterwards. And Movimento 5 Nodi also taking the penalty after that.
Yeah, too many penalties here for the Italian, running a perfect score of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But at the moment, only Volvo is ahead of Amos Di Benedetto.
Yep, and we see GER7 also taking penalties here from Velista 71. Former finalist in the eSailing World Championship as well.
former world champion, my friend.
And former world champion.
Bermuda 2019. I know it's before your time, but. I'm just joking.
It's fine. It's
At the
fine.
moment, it's still an Italian win with 1-2-5 is always winning, but it is not as good as they started. So definitely some improvement to be made from the Italian perspective on how do not throw away a race that was in the start.
Yeah, and a good lesson for the Germans on how to catch up someone who did a perfect start.
Yeah.
That 3 penalty at the mark before the reaching leg definitely was a possible changing moment. They need to, you said 1-2-5 is a winning combo?
1-2-5, yes.
So they need to push Amos or Velista out of 5 and 6, put GER 7, Paradicus, or you have 007 in front of one of these two players. Well, taking the 5th position, basically.
Yep. Let's see Amos what he's going to do. Volvo here has the right of way. He can help Knud to go in. Why
Watch
they are
out
not
for
helping
friendly,
each
yeah.
other?
Watch out for friendly fire.
Knud is
Volvo
in trouble there.
passing in front. He's going to slow down, trying to put the penalty here on Amos Di Benedetto. He does just that. Velista 71 also taking a penalty. Does that mean that GER 7 can pass in front of Amos Di Benedetto and knocking the Italians out of the top 5? He had it for a moment there, but then jibed away, allowing Amos to put the penalty on Paradicus and GER 7 again. So very good defense by Amos over here.
Yeah.
And Velista
Impressive
71
worker from
also,
the
yeah.
Italian here.
Impressive work. They lost to 5 and 6 for a moment there, but managed to cling on to it at the start of the last upwind. Meanwhile, in front, Smordi, Napoli, and Charizard are going to cross the finish line.
But you see, Knud coming back. Let's see if they can fight for at least a couple of positions here. Because here, look at the battle between Piraticus and Movimento Cinque Nodi. It's stuff from the Sicilian guy. He has to attack. Piraticus is really close to Velista 71, but do not go for getting slowed down by Dirty Wind.
Attacks just in front. That was a risky move, but manages to do it nonetheless. They really need to put one of the Germans out of the top 5. Fortunately, Knut 34 is going to take the penalty. Amos Di Benedetto and Velista 71 are going to cross in 4 and 5. Paradicus in 6, GER 7 and 7. Sorry, GER 7 and 8. Knut 34 and 7. Movimento Cinque Nodi in 9. And now you have 007 and 10 confirmation on the score of your screen. 4-0 for Italy against Germany. We're heading into race number 5, the 9v9 49er.
Yeah.
A bit strange as a team race kind of format, but it is
Because
going to
it's
be
not.
fun and it is going to be hectic because it is closer to fleet racing. 9v9 is obviously a big fleet, 18 in total. 49er, most of the difference is going to be happening on the upwind.
Yeah.
And even though you're likely going to sail it more like a fleet race, it is a fleet racing course as well, the normal upwind, downwind. You're still racing as a team, so help out your teammates penalize your opponents. These strategies still apply, even though knowing winning combinations or losing combinations is a lot harder to know and to manage.
Mm-hmm. Definitely is a fleet race where you do not have to penalize the guys with the same color, and you have to penalize the guys on the other color. The rule is easy here. What do you think?
Yeah, sail your race, sail fast, but if you see if you're Italian and if you see a white boat next to you, penalize a white boat. If you're a German and see a blue boat next to you, penalize a blue boat. Help out your teammates if you can as well. Because in the long run, this actually helps a lot. The 49er is a fast boat, and there is a lot of wind on the course. A couple of false start over here by See You Later.
Sorry, but I hear really at the moment. Not sure if I can use this. No. Yeah.
Right, so what can we say what happened? We have a 1-2-3-4 by the Italians. So a strong
Yeah,
start
it's a
by the
really strong
Germans.
start,
Yeah. Yeah, go for it.
but I wish I would go and focus on the last four. That is Quo Vadis, GER7, TK, and Jonas Bansen. That is not the Italian that are having 1, 2, 3, 4. In my opinion, the best things to check. But who has the last 4, 5 position? And here is Germany.
Yeah, Germany currently have a lot of whites in the bottom 9, which is going to be very expensive in terms of points. Avel, GMAI 0-1 when I left, 0-4 when I come back. Go, 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 Germany. We knew it was going to be tough for Germany. Italians are defending champions, but they're doing a pretty good job at the moment. They're very close every time. They're just missing this last maneuver, which changes everything. We're approaching the top mark. Watch out, because we're back onto the upwind, downwind normal course, meaning that mark is going to be rounded by leaving it on port and not on starboard like the end shape. So do not round it the wrong way. We've seen it happen a couple of times in the past by some of the players.
Yeah, I think at the moment Italy have a 7 in the top 9 position, so definitely not something that you can easily come back to.
Yep, 7 in the
What do you
top
think?
9 is pretty much well, it's a very strong position for sure. But it's not over. So if sailing, so we do see a couple of Germans in there as well. So if they can do some damage to the Italians behind them to allow some of the Germans to sail in front and get more Germans in the top 9 and less of them in the bottom 4 or 5 now, it's the way to go. But the 49er in the 9v9, we've seen it several times. It's these couple of penalties here and there that really make the difference. You're not going to have
Yep.
this one maneuver that's going to change the whole thing that you can probably see in other formats like 3v3s or 4v4s, where one player can really make the difference.
And to be honest, on the back, Italy is making a lot of damage with the Charizard and the See You Later to the German team. They are playing it really wisely. The Italian putting one or couple of behind that can slow down the rest of the fleet.
We see 3 Germans with with penalties here. Sorry. But Italy, sorry, have now 6 players in the top 9, so the Germans managed to push one out of there. They need to keep doing that.
Yeah.
And they need to do something with this bottom 4 over there. This is going to be very expensive in terms of number of points. See you later. Putting a penalty here on Ahab
Later is
007. Yep. Paraticus, currently the leading German. And I guess what's also hard with the 9v9 is to make sure that you're not slowing down your teammates with your wind shadow or stuff like that, because 9v9 is a lot of players, so a lot of the space is going to be taken. So you got to find a space where you can minimize the wind shadow that you're going to put on your teammates. And the Pimpy, which one is the female German sailor? It's Paraticus, the one that you currently see on your screen. It was going to cross path with Lagatanuda, Mascalzone, Sabino, and unfortunately taking the penalty on Movimento Cinco Nodi. Watch out with the mark rounding. I think she might have missed it and she's going to have to round it again. That is unfortunate. ULTK taking now the lead on the German side, chasing Movimento Cinco Nodi.
I have to tell you, this one was definitely a jinx from Pimpy here. She goes, "Where is Praticus? She's the one in the lead." Bam! And lost 3 position.
We've seen it happen too many times when we mention a player and they finish. They end up end up jinxing their position, but a pretty clean race by the Italians over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is, well, something you can brag about.
Yeah. And to be honest, I'm taking the opportunity right now to take amazing videos without any UI on the game, to have a nice, clean view of this amazing skin that the nation here have for this Nations Cup 2024.
Yep, we've seen the countries showing off their colors. Every country participating in the Nations Cup has one.
So I will say with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7.
It is a win for the Italians. I don't think there's any surprise there when you look at the final ranking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is pretty hard to lose with that.
Yeah.
And there we have the ranking at the end. So as we said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10, 11,
11.
and 18 for the Italians. The rest is German. And that makes another Italian win. And spoiled 11 saying that she did. Let's have a vote.
Did the Pimpy jinxed?
Did Pimpy jinx Paraticus?
Guys, vote, because I believe this one will make clear, make sure that we are doing the right things for, for all the teams. "20 seconds to go."
There we go.
Sorry.
You have the vote on the chat. Did Pimpy jinx Paraticus? You have 3 minutes to vote. On a more serious note, 10 seconds to go. Italy versus Germany. It's going to be race number 6, 3v3 mixed.
And I believe Germany is in a really good position at the moment.
Yep. Historically, 3v3 mixed is the race that the Germans have won against Italy in the round robin, winning 9-12. It is one of their preferred races, winning 2 out of 6 of them in the round robin.
Nice.
The Italians have won it 4 times out of 6. You need 10 points or less to win. The Germans averaging at 11.17, the Italians averaging at 9.5, so still very close. Will the Germans be able to confirm their win against the Italians as they did in the round robin stage, or will the Italians have their revenge and be able to win it from the Germans? We'll see. Currently, the Germans in a winning combo. If you do not have 1 and 2 or 1 and 3, then keep out of the 6.
I believe Roxy and ESG are in the top 2 position.
Alberto and Oscar, please remember, I know where you live, and in Italy means something. It is now a threat.
It's not a threat. Yes.
But Roxy Johnny, ESG777 are now in the lead, and they might be able to reach this mark first.
Yeah.
And if they don't have 1 and 2, they still can cling on to 1 and 3, which is still a winning combo. ESG777 is on the inside. I believe 42 has left the mark zone. Sorry,
It's really
it was Roxy
difficult
Johnny.
now to understand.
Yeah, it was a Roxy Johnny, not ESG777. But it is 1 and 2 for the Germans, 6 for Paraticus. Pimpy, leave Paraticus alone this round, please. And well, this time it's going to be the Germans defending their 1 and 2. The Italians attacking.
The real problem for the German is Piratico's so far behind that she's too far away to cover everyone.
Yep.
And that one could be a problem for the Germany. And let's see if they can defend enough themselves from the attack of the Italians.
Yeah, well, the Germans are here covering themselves while Roxy Joni is above ESG 777 himself, under 42. So it's going to be tricky, but again, 1-2 or 1-3, they give that second position to the Italian. Doesn't really matter as long as they have 2 places on the podium, including the first one. But that means that 42 over here is going to focus on these 2 Germans who are close together, and Luka Kozlovic and Sozi on the right over there, top of your screen, have found some wind and are going to go faster. And now we have the opposite.
Look at the difference
Yeah.
between Sozi and Luka Kozlovic. Kozlovic is going double the speed of Sozi.
Yep.
Let's see also if Piraticus can join in the same path.
The vote is now over, and the chat has voted that Pimpy has jinxed Paraticus.
Yeah, we know we were right. In the bottom of our hearts.
But yeah, let's concentrate maybe a bit more on the Nations Cup 2024. Italy versus Germany. Germany back into 1-3. We're gonna see some nice battles between these 4 players over here: ESG 777, 42, Roxy Joni, and Luka Kozlovic. Which means that Sozi is gonna go up against Paraticus, or Paraticus is gonna be attacking Sozi if she can be within reach, and looks like she could be. But watch out for the Germans. If they lose this first place, they need to get away from the 6th position. You need to have 10 points or less to win. And the only way to get 10
really
points
tough right now.
Yeah. But this mark rounding over here is going to change. Is going to more or less decide what happens after.
Yeah.
42 taking the penalty by Roxy Joni, himself taking the penalty by Kozlovic. So it's a 1-1 on both sides. ESG 777 takes the lead, followed by the 2 Italians, sorry. And what's happening behind with Paraticus and Sozi? Paraticus managed to take 5th place from Sozi. As she is approaching the mark, she's just going to have to keep hanging onto that 5th position, defend well against Sozi. If she can keep this distance, it's going to be good for her in the upwind. And let's switch back to the front over there. Luka Kozlovic still in 1st place. Roxy Joni took 2nd. 42 took a penalty by ESG 777. These 4 is going to be very tight for the finish. If the Germans have 2 places on the podium and Paraticus can keep on hanging onto her fifth place, that she does so far, it will be a win for Germany.
Yeah, but Lorenzo less 42 is coming back.
But we see 42 coming back. He's going to cover Paraticus, slow her down to allow Sozi to get away from that 6th place and take it from Paraticus, which means that the Germans now need to get into the 1st place, which Roxy Joni does according to the ranking so far. But it's going to be close because Luka Kozlovic and ESG 777 now have a straight line towards the finish.
It depends on the right wing shift when it's coming, because at the moment they're almost aligned. And if the right wing shift is coming and affect both Roxy Joni and Luka Kozlovic, it will be a win for Germany. If not, Italian has the lead.
And yeah, Luka Kozlovic taking 1st place from Roxy Joni. Wind shifting a bit, Roxy Joni deciding to dial down, and he's going to help out Paraticus. ESG 777 is doing the same, judging how
they wanted
and
to
when.
make sure.
Yeah, they want to make sure that they're away from that 6th place. Luka Kozlovic decided to not finish. He's going to wait for his teammates over there. ESG 777 unfortunately taking the penalty by Sozi over here. That was unfortunate because that's going to put them in a very impossible position now to finish, as 42 is going to attack and take the second place. Roxy Joni is going to take third, meaning that the Italians have 1-2. It is a winning combo, so it is a 6-0 for Italy.
Yeah. Unfortunate for Germany, but they definitely give a nice fight to the Italian. Definitely a race that do not show exactly what we saw during the race. The result at the end is completely a different completely different race. That was not what happened.
As the start procedure has been given for the 4v4 F50, so it is a reaching start on starboard. And we're getting to that reaching mark and to that first downwind gates. It's just going to be gates, upwinds, and downwind is very important because that is going to decide a lot of the race. But with the F50 being a very fast boat, any slight mistake can be very costful because you are going to be overtaken if you get slowed down by a penalty or a wrong maneuver.
Yeah. But everybody is going to the boundary line nearby the end of the race area, and they're preparing themselves to go start to have a fast start. But everyone is really early. They're all like excited to start, and they're looking forward to have an amazing start now.
You want to start far from the start line so that when you reach that start line at 0, you're already at max velocity, which is very important for the F50. Watch out for friendly fire over here. Roxy Joni taking a penalty from his teammate Johannes, but he didn't have much choice because he was trying to avoid an Italian. A very good start by the Italians. Mauro Napoli, FIV Rock taking the lead. ESG 777 and TK are still in there. TK can still do some damage to one of the Italians, 42, but he's going to be pushed away by FIV Rock. And we only have ESG 777 on the podium from the Germans. The rest is Italian. So
they use a strange color. Which color is for you the Italian boat?
it's the Halloween orange color.
The Halloween orange color.
But the fleet is still very close, so the slightest mistake can put the Germans in front or just push them further back as FIV Rock here takes a penalty by ESG 777 sailing a bit too close to him. As he was trying to maneuver. A penalty here on Amos Di Benedetto given by ULTK, so the Germans doing some work slowing them down. It is 4v4, so 1-2-7-8 is a losing combo, even though that's 18 points. The fact that they have first place means that the round would go to the Germans if they were to finish like this. Historically, it was an Italian win, 26-10, meaning that in the round robin, the Italians managed to do a 1-2-3-4 against Germany in this race. The Italians
the 1-2 they have.
Yeah. Now it's the 7-8 that they need to get away of. They have only lost once. They're 4v4 F50, the Italians, averaging at 13.5 points. You need 18 to win. So definitely one of their favorite boats. ESG 77 here struggling to avoid his teammates taking the penalty. What would your strategy be here for the Germans? Still try to catch up in the first 1 and 2, or make sure that the two Italians behind stay behind?
The two Italian behind stay behind because it's pretty easy with the F50, and this is something that you should do. It's easy to do, and that's what they're actually doing at the moment. As you can see, there is a hunt between ULTK and FIV Rock. You should slow down a little bit more to slow down better the Italian. As you can see, even the German behind is catching up really closely to FIV Rock. Double jab for both of them, and the German now is going much faster, going 44 knots against FIV Rock that just reached 44 knots. And even if the Italian are still in a winning combo, it doesn't seem that winning, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is still in a very wonky situations on the Italians because FIV Rock is going to have to do a perfect run to stay away from that 7th position. And that's going to be the sole focus on for the Germans. They need to put FIV Rock in 7, and they need to keep Amos Di Benedetto in 8. And
And there's
TK
a type
just
over FIV Rock.
TK just being a nuisance to FIV Rock, managing to put the penalty here, forcing FIV Rock to put the penalty on himself by touching ULTK as he was trying to maneuver, meaning that ESG 777 is now in front of FIV Rock. They need to maintain that lead. This is going to be the last upwind. There's going to be a half a downwind leg into the reaching finish. Nothing much happens in the reaching finish. Usually that's already decided who wins. But we did see Roxy Joni taking a penalty by 42 who did a dial down, but therefore 42 is giving his second place to Johannes Bansen, but not to worry too much because he manages to put the penalty on Johannes Bansen, slowing him down again. And he is just trying to do his best to put the penalties on the Germans. He's doing exactly that. TK now in the mark room, but taking again a penalty by 42. 42 putting the work, 3 penalties on the Germans. And that shuffled a bit on what's happening in the ranking. TK now has the lead, or can fight to take the lead.
Italy still have the 7-8.
Yeah, they still have the 7-7-7. So this is a very tight finish. Germans should avoid any penalties because FIV Rock and Mora Di Napoli and Amos Di Benedetto, are very close behind. TK takes first place. Can Johannes take second? We will see. But if Johannes takes seconds, it is now 7 and 8 for the Germans by ESG 777 and Roxy Joni. Johannes did not manage to stay on the podium, currently in 4th. And I think, unfortunately, this is going to translate to an Italian win.
Yeah.
And there we have it, 2-3-5-6 for the Italians, 1-4-7-8 for the Germans. I think
so
they're
we
all
can
even.
give the go.
And there we go. So currently 7-0 for Italy. 2 more races to go. We're going into the new races, 5v5 Ilka, and then it's going to be 3v3 F50 that we haven't seen yet in the round robin stage. This is only for the knockout stage. We've seen that the 5v5 is neither the strongest suit for both teams. One of the rounds that they have, that both teams have lost the least amount, will have won the least amount of. And for the Ilka, looks like the Germans and the Italians favor this one. More wins on the Germans, on the Italian side compared to the Germans. But we'll see how this changes. And Maradoni, Germany Super from PP. What a fight. Maradoni saying you have to take your hat off. Very nice from Italy to turn it around at the end. And we can only agree with that. It was a great finish from the Italian squad.
Yeah, exactly. It was a
masterclass
on team racing, that one. And that's why it's really, really nice to see. Germany has a lot of potential, but they need to give the last penalty, the last movement that allowed them to win. But they are there.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing and repeating so far in the Nations Cup. They could definitely be one of the stronger pretenders to the title, as the race, the start has been given fairly even. We see a pack in front and a pack behind. So half of them took a good start. The other half had a bit of difficulties taking the start or lining up correctly. 5v5, you need 27 points or less.
So 1, 2, and 5.
So 1, 2, 5
is
exactly.
The best winning combo.
Is the worst winning combo that you can get.
Yeah, sorry.
Maybe. And currently it is not what the Italian has. But again, we're just at the start of the race. We'll see how the downwind changes, because with the Ilka, downwind is a very important part of the race. Smaller wind shadow than the Star, but still very effective and very fast in the downwind, so it can be quite hectic.
I have to tell you the background of this race
Yep.
is impressive. The I believe it's Sferracavallo area in Palermo.
Yeah, so
Looks
it's in the Mondello Bay.
Mondello Bay, yeah, sorry.
You can see a bit of it on the horizon here. This was a venue asked by the Italian team for winning their the 2023 Nations Cup.
Yeah.
Against France in a very tight race match that I would suggest you looking back at if you can find the replay, which is on both World Sailing and Virtual Regatta's channels. But
So
we
we
will
have a
see.
strange things at the moment. We have ESG in the lead,
Yep.
but the last 3 position from the Germans. So we'll see how they're going back to that one, because I will lose the first position if I can give like 3 or 4 penalties. And now they're all lined up. Should be so beautiful to give all those penalties.
We'll see, but it is no easy task because well, every player here is very strong. So ESG77 deciding not to put a mark trap whatsoever on this first mark. We'll see what he decides to do on the second mark. But he is being chased by 3 Germans. Mascalzone, Sabino taking a penalty here by TK. And Johannes taking a penalty from See You Later. What's happening in front with ESG777, Morty Napoli, Charizard, and Velista 71? No mark trap by ASG. Still continuing to sail. Moro Di Napoli managing to catch him in his wind shadow. He's going to go into a right angle, steer him away from the center, and focus on Moro Di Napoli. Watch out by heading too much on the downwind. You're going to slow down a lot. He is still in reach from Moro Di Napoli. Charizard is out of GER 7's wind shadow. So is Velista 777. But we have 3 Italians followed by 3 Germans. Johannes at the back taking a penalty. Did not see from who. Probably See You Later.
From See You Later. From See You Later. Yeah, I was following them while you were focusing on the top with ESG 77, covering Moro Di Napoli and giving him a hard time for this downwind leg.
Yeah. So you said 1-2-5 is a winning combo. Currently, the Italians have 1-2-4, which is a good position to be in. But you still have 2 Germans that can put some damage, maybe 3 depending on where TK is, to push Moro Di Napoli out of that top 5 position, push him into 6, allowing more Germans in the top. Ahab 007 taking a penalty behind by See You Later.
Yeah, Nicolo Gatti, the captain, is having a little bit of fun at the moment.
Yeah,
Let's
he
see
already
what
did
Moro
that
Di Napoli can do.
in the previous race. Well, Germans have managed to do well, putting now 2 Germans in the top 5, but Moro Di Napoli is still in 5th. And Mascarzone Sabino is in 6th, battling with TK over here as they approach the mark. Let's see what's happening at the mark between Moro Di Napoli, GER 7, and ESG 777. Moro Di Napoli doing the work and putting 2 penalties on the 2 Germans and taking that 3rd place. TK taking 6th from Mascalzone Sabino, so the Germans really need to push Moro Di Napoli out of that top 3 and out of that top 5.
I believe with 1, 2, 3 on the last leg, this one will give them the 8-0 to the Italian. Amazingly done by Moro Di Napoli, because against 2, he managed to give out 2 penalty, and that's what exactly what I was meaning on. They do not have the last things. There were 2 against Moro Di Napoli, and Moro Di Napoli beat them both.
Yep. And I guess with the Ilka and the downwind especially, it's very fast, and the maneuvers happen very fast as well. So it is something that you really need to be on top of to use it effectively.
Yep. but you can be smart on that way. You can one is taking care of Il Moro di Napoli during the downwind, and the other one is taking a little bit of the lead. So in the last upwind leg, you have some chance to get back. If you're losing the position there, you cannot come up in the upwind. So at the moment, unless a disconnection, I would say
Don't say that word.
8-0 Italy. I want to jinx it a little bit for Italian, you know. On the 8th, I bet on 8-1, right?
You did bets on 8-1 and then you changed. Oh, you said 7-2 and then 8-1.
Yeah, the final one was 8-1. I want to be right.
And Pimpy saying that it's horrible to jinx the players. Do not take that from Pimpy. Still 1-2-3 from the Italians. I think it was ESG at some point had third place, but then the wind shifted. And it's looking, as you said, like an Italian win for this race.
Yeah.
Charizard doing a little 360 over there of celebration. And just watch out for the jinx. We've seen it happen to the Japanese who lost a race by doing just that.
We never forget that one, huh?
But it is 1-2-3 for the Italians, 4-5-6 so far for the Germans. Could it be 4-5-6-7-8? I think it will. What happened with Mascarzon? And see you later.
They're fighting against each other, you can see. They know the result was right and they're having fun.
Well, it is therefore 4-5-6-7-8 for the Germans. And then 9-10 for the Italians.
Yep. On the roster, Italy have a stronger team, but Velisa 71, when he's winning like this, is a little bit cocky. FIV Rock is having a lot of fun, so he'll probably not be focused.
So you think they're
And
gonna
I
jinx
believe,
themselves?
yeah, they're going to jinx themselves. I believe they're not focused on the last race, and if they do not have a great start, I believe if they do not have a great start, there is a possibility for the German to win.
Well, if the Germans have had a better start in the previous F50, I think would have been a German win because they had
Yeah,
a slower start than the Italians. The Italians had the advantage at the first mark in the first downwind gate, but then managed to climb back up. And this last move by 42 penalizing 3 of the Germans and allowing his 2 teammates to get out of the 7-8, and then later transforming into 1-2-3-4 was the turning point. But if the Germans manage to do a good start, they have some really good chances of actually winning this one, as they put the penalty here on Velista 71. 1 second to go, no false start. Luka Kozovic taking first spot, Roxy Joni in close second. We see behind GER 7 pushing FIB Rock, putting the penalty on him, but now is in sixth. Luka Kozovic managed to pull away from Roxy Joni. And it is a 3v3, so as we said before, 1-3 or 1-2 wins. If you do not have 1-2 or 1-3, then get out of the 6.
yeah. So this is victory Germany at the moment.
At the moment is victory Germany, and we're going to hope they can keep it because they are in a pretty good spot. They only have Velisa 71 in the lead. GER 7 managed to get out of the 6th, but it's close with FIV Rock. As we're going to see the crossover here between Roxy Joni and Velisa 71. Roxy Joni did not have right of way. He was on port. The others were on starboard.
Yeah, but right now it's time for ESG 77 to attack in front of him.
And it's exactly what he did. Attacking in front of Velista 71, hopefully trying to slow him down a bit. The F50 has a bit of momentum, so it takes a bit of time to slow down. But we do see in here the speed difference, CSG 777 going at 27 plus knots. Velista 71 was closer to the 25. And currently, the Italians have 1 and 3. And ESG 777 doing a nice penalty here on Velista 71. Needs to keep at it. Hopefully transform that penalty into a German lead, allowing Roxy Joni to get a place onto the podium, but then ESG 777 is going to take a penalty himself and is back neck and neck with Velista 71, but this time Velista 71 in front. Roxy Joni is going to have to, I think, focus on FIV Rock. And GER 7 going to focus on Velista 71. Because they need to get one more German onto that top 3 and push the last Italian into 6. But GER 7 taking the penalty here by Velista 71.
And putting them in 5 and 6. Let's see if Roxioni can create a little bit of havoc at the moment. Kozlovic is coming back to give a help to FIV Rock.
But he is surrounded by the Italians. Not an easy spot for him.
Not an easy spot for him.
But one penalty or one move could make the whole difference.
Yeah, especially now. Look at the left wing shift there is over there.
And he's going to cross path with Velista 71, managing to escape by an inch. Attacking in front of FIV
This is a
Rock.
mistake. And losing the position.
Losing the position, taking the penalty by FIV Rock. Looks like we're going to have a 1-2-3 from the Italians. Unless ESG is that can make something at the mark over here. Fortunately cannot escape FIV Rock. FIV Rock putting the penalty on him again, meaning that the Italians now have 1-2.
And I believe it will be a victory for the 9-0 for the Italians.
And yep, looks like a strong finish here by the Italians. Roxy Joni trying to put a penalty here, but cannot. FIV Rock gaining some meters on him, taking the penalty by FIV Rock, and it's going to transform into a 1-2-3 by the Italians, 4-5-6 for the Germans. Meaning that the Germans now have a flawless victory heading into the Italians, having a flawless victory heading towards the semifinals. They're gonna meet the Japanese on the 17th or 18th of August. Well done to the Italians, well done to the Germans as well, because even though it's a 9-0, it doesn't really reflect what happened during the races. It was we had some very good fights in a lot of those races. It wasn't just an easy win. Did I say August? No, sorry, I meant January. Semifinals are happening on the 18th and 19th of January. It's going to be Italy versus Japan, Poland versus France. We will see which of these 4 teams head into the semifinals and which of these teams head into the which of these teams head into the grand final, which of these teams head into the bronze final or the petite finale. But we'll get to that when we get that. They have a month of break or practice before then. And well, I guess it's time for us to wrap it up, Alberto.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 9-0 for the Italians. Very well played by them. Flawless victory. Well played for the Germans again. As we said, the score doesn't really reflect what happened in the races. Alberto, thank you so much for joining me and commentating this match tonight.
Thank you, Oscar, for having me.
Always a pleasure. And this was Oscar, your host. And we'll wish you all a lovely evening, and we'll see you all in January for the semifinals, Italy versus Japan and Poland versus France to finish this eSailing Nations Cup. And we'll see you all next time.
Good night.
Bye.